understand why, based on the current contract, we reduce the service level response time based on having our own city rate. Again, just trying to understand the rationale behind it.
Maybe I didn't explain it correctly. County EMS has an agreement with a private ambulance provider, and in there they have conditions for meeting certain response time criteria. It's independent of the city. We don't have any say in that at all. That is a relationship between the County Emergency Medical Services and the private provider. So as far as the relaxation of that, had everything to do with the provider, the current provider stating that they cannot meet the response time criteria. So their proposal to the county, and they had basically no choice but to come with this, because there is no other provider we can take over, was we needed to relax the response time criteria so that they could meet their obligation and continue to be solvent as a private ambulance provider. That's their realization.
Yeah, just to add it.
It's a mind bender to hear that, and not.
Yeah, I'm right there with
about
you.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And again,
Right.
the city and the fire department are not involved in that negotiation. That's directly between the county and the private provider.
Yeah, and just to add to that, that's exactly, those concerns were exactly what county raised, but county did put out an RFP ahead of time, but there were not enough. Actually, the current provider was the only one that submitted a bid, which was significantly high than what the current contract was. The county had an option to exercise an extension in their current agreement with the service provider. What ended up happening was when the county realized there is only one bid, and that's the current service provider, the county said, well, we don't like your high amount on the new proposal. Under our current agreement, we have an option to exercise an extension. So we're hereby notifying you to do that. Well, AMR came back, knowing that there's nobody else submitting a bid, they wanted to open up the agreement and renegotiate. So those were some key, right? Yeah, so there were, it was a very debated topic at the county level, but county EMS, knowing that, they're liable to, they want to provide these services, so there were negotiations at the county level to go ahead and let's move forward, get this agreement signed, and then the committees being formed at the county level, myself and the city manager are sitting in on the committee as well. So it's all those conversations to really see what that really looks like down the road, to have a delivery model in place. That's where it all originated from, that we wanted to make sure that we're not cornered again, essentially.
If we know there's more than one player out there as it relates to, so the question would be is why did only one respond to the RFP? I mean, that doesn't line up at all.
Right, yeah.
Anyhow,
Well, every ambulance provider had an opportunity to submit a bid to the request, and only one chose to do so.
Well, it's all dependent on the requirements of the RFP. So some of those standards must have been.
And to that end, the submittal that was made by the current provider, it was not conforming to the bid either. So one of the reasons that all of them were thrown out is because the only one that submitted one was not conforming as well.
And just to add to the caveat is the county, just like county liable to provide those services to us, the county is also regulated by a state agency that sets the standards, what's required to be in the RFP. And that's part of the reason I think this whole conversation started. The contract was amended significant times by the county and the current provider, that the state came in and said, actually, you know what, we're going to pull the non-exclusive video of the agreement, because when the original RFP was put out, the current agreement has deviated significantly. Yeah.
Great question. And while it has nothing to do directly with fire services, 70% of the call volume that we see within the city of Morgan Hill is emergency medical.
Well, that's my concern. Is
So
the
there's a
population.
huge high, even though transportation is not currently on the responsibility of the city as it sits today, we have a huge responsibility to the people, to the public, to be able to address that. And I think it really speaks to the level of engagement of the city by having the city manager and having assistant city manager, your operations chief, your EMS battalion chief involved in the process. We want to make sure that this, that we come out with something on the other end that's better than what we have today.
And just to add to that, Jim mentioned that, the recent council approval of a city ambulance, we didn't per se go out and buy one. Our partners, obviously CAL FIRE, were able to, through their relationships, actually find a ambulance that another agency down south had replaced, and which was fairly low miles and so forth. So the council accepted a donation of that ambulance and approved the outfitting of that ambulance to be able to put into service here in our community. So again, just going back to, we talk about finding opportunities to, creative ways to fund or acquire equipment and so forth through grants or other opportunities.
They did not approve, and we're very grateful that that's in place. I think that's going to help the fire department to be able to continue to provide the best level of service possible. There were no additional personnel that came with that, so that resource is basically available unstaffed. If there is a need, we will activate that and respond to an incident. It may be cross-staffed at certain times. We can always overstaff with overtime as long as we stay within budget. The Carjo is always on me about that. So the ability to be able to staff that resource is there. However, at this time, we still do not have enough staffing to staff it 24/7. Diane, any other questions about ambulance services and EMS? That evolution over the last 40 years has been significant, and I know Maureen can speak to it too. In an earlier career life, there's been a lot of changes in EMS, and some very positive changes. Really, right now is everything's kind of coming into alignment to make some significant positive changes for the public within the state of California. So, quality of life issues. I just point out, just like our police partners. We do have an aging community that is a focus of a number of incidents, enough to be able to point it out, as well as behavioral health and homeless issues. Those folks do tend to drop more services than people that are younger, that are people that have that do not have identified behavioral issues. So we do end up focusing quite a bit of attention in order to address those. We respond in cooperation with police services to anybody that's ill or injured, and that includes both, the public that has behavioral health or homelessness